My clients rarely ever eat pasta, so I was surprised when they asked for bolognese. Since they don't eat it that often, I have to make sure it's good. If you guys haven't seen my prime rib video, go and watch that because I used a beef tallow that was infused with rosemary, garlic, and thyme to start the bolo. I melted that down in my Le Creuset, threw in ground beef, ground veal, and ground pork. A 2:1:1 ratio. In the last restaurant that I was exec at, I used to make the sauce with braised beef cheeks, which I thought was phenomenal, if I do say so myself. But I kept it pretty classic for my clients. While the meat was searing over high heat, I chopped mirepoix, simply onions, carrots, and celery. I like to chop them kind of small because I want them to get as close to melting into the sauce as possible. Once the meat gets some nice color, I pulled the meat out and added a bit more tallow. The meat that I got was pretty lean, so it didn't give off that much fat. If anything, the meat just sucked it all up. Then I throw in the mirepoix and let that cook down for almost 4 hours. I wanted it to be fully caramelized, sweet, and basically mush. At this point, it's called sofrito, a fundamental base for a lot of Italian cooking. Then I add in garlic and let that sweat. I always like to add garlic near the end, right before I add in some kind of liquid because I really hate the flavor of even slightly burnt garlic. Then add tomato paste and cook that out until it is caramelized as well, just building flavor on top of flavor. I also really hate the flavor of raw tomato paste. I always make sure to toast and caramelize in oil to bring out the sweetness and get rid of that harsh raw tomato flavor. I add in all that seared ground meat, give that a mix before I deglaze with white wine. I know some people who use red wine in their bolo, but traditionally it's white. Once the alcohol is cooked off, I add chicken stock, bay leaves, and just a touch of crushed tomatoes. Not too much. Bolo shouldn't be a tomato-based sauce, it's a meat-based sauce. Then I threw the lid on and let that cook in the oven for an additional 4 hours before I chilled it and threw it in the fridge. It is now day 2. I like to let my bolo spend the night in the fridge for the flavors to meld together. It also makes it easier to remove all that fat. Then I brought it up to heat, let that simmer while I cook my pasta. Bolognese also traditionally has a bit of milk to make it richer, but my clients told me they did not want milk in it, so I omitted it for them. It's always about what the client wants. I used to serve my bolo with mafaldine, which basically looks like skinnier lasagna noodles with the edges, or tagliatelle, which is more traditional, but my client wanted rigatoni. With the noodles 90% of the way done, I tossed with the sauce, added pasta water to let the pasta finish cooking, a few knobs of butter to make it richer and silky, freshly grated Parmigiano Reggiano to finish it up, let that emulsify and plate. Let's hope they like it.